Hey guys, so I've already been in China for like 4 or 5 years now. So a lot of my initial impressions of China, of moving to China, of what I thought and felt when I first got to China, I can't really remember it. So a lot of the things I see on the street that might be interesting or different to you guys, I've completely forgotten about, and it's just part of the scenery at this stage. So I thought it would be a good idea to interview some people that have just arrived in China, whether that be to live or whether that be to come and travel for their first time, and get their initial impressions of what China is like. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to the lovely Elle.
Hi.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
So where are you from?
Glasgow in Scotland.
So what are you doing here in China?
I'm teaching, of course. It's what most people come to do, especially when they're in their mid-20s and they're having some sort of life crisis. Move to China, it's great. My brother had actually lived in Wuhan and he taught for 2 years, so he was like, just apply for jobs in China, man.
Yeah.
And I just logged on to Guardian, which is a really popular job website in the UK, and searched teaching jobs in China, and I applied for a few, and I think I got an interview within 3 days, and I had the job within a week. They were really good with the visa process. A lot of companies will just be like, come out and we'll sort your visa when you're here. Definitely don't do that. If that's what they're saying to you, they're probably bringing you here on a personal visa, and you can't change it to a Z visa, which is a work visa. When you get to the country, you'll get deported, and it'll be you that kind of covers the costs of that and your flights back and stuff. So I was actually supposed to start in the middle of September. 16th of September was my start date, and I didn't arrive in Shenzhen until the 31st of October.
Wow.
This visa process is extensive. The visa process is difficult. It's not even so much that, like, there is a lot to do, but it's the waiting as well. Like, you need to get your documents notarized by a lawyer, then they need to go to the FCO, and then you need to take them through to the consulate, and then you need to get your work permit, and then you can apply for your visa.
Wow.
But your visa isn't actually a visa. You get permission to have a Z visa, and then you come to China and you need to wait 6 weeks to turn your visa into a work permit here.
Yeah.
Which you can't get a bank account or anything like that until you've got your permit.
So you've been in China now for 3 weeks, and you haven't been able to get a bank account yet because you don't have your residence permit.
Yeah, that's the case, and it's fine because I've got cash, but Shenzhen particularly is very much a cashless society. Like, I've actually been in convenience stores paying for stuff and pulled out cash, and the cashiers kind of sniggered at me as if, like, you're paying in cash, are you sure?
What's the first thing you're going to do when you get your bank account?
Probably order a coffee to my apartment. Yeah.
What are some of your first impressions of China? Like, is it what you expected?
It's definitely not what I expected. It's not this really crazy, dirty, overcrowded place that the Western media loves to paint it as, in my opinion. There's a lot of smells. Not all of them are great, but it's the only way I can describe it is it's so China. It's absolute peak China. Like, if you walk down the street, something smells absolutely amazing. There's crazy fried food going, and then the next minute it's just the sewer, and you're like from one extreme to the other all the time. And I feel like that maybe is a good way to describe China. It's absolutely one extreme to the other. I did get the metro at peak hour for the first time this morning.
And how was that?
I mean, I don't know, how do Americans put it in baseball terms? It was definitely third base with a stranger.
Oh, God.
And I'm not sure if he had a bit of a situation or if he was just a very well endowed man, but either way I could definitely, we were so close that I could feel it. Like, it was definitely the most action that I've had in at least 4 months though, so I'm grateful for it. Thank you, China. Shenzhen in particular is very green. There's a lot of parks going on. The dancing ladies are my favourite. Honestly, like, people in China just have a real sense of community, which is my favourite thing. Like, when I finish work late at night, sometimes I don't go home till after 9, and I'm walking through my block to get to my apartment building, and there's like rows and rows of dance troupes. Like, within like maybe 100 metres there's 5 different dance troupes, all having competing music. Usually it's ladies kind of 60 and above, just trying to keep like limber and keep themselves young, but they're so welcoming. They're always like, come and join us.
Have you joined yet?
No, I've not joined.
Do you think you will?
Well, to be honest, I was the past 3 working days I've watched the same troops, and I think I've picked up some of their moves. So when I feel like I maybe could slot in a little bit, I'm definitely going to go and join them. But China has very much a culture of you can do anything and you don't need to be embarrassed. It's very welcoming. People here are so friendly. I've lived in other countries, I've moved to other countries in the past, and I've never had a welcome the way that I do in China.
What have they done to welcome you?
Just even like my work, they just could not be helpful enough. Like, I'm having a bit of a situation right now with mosquitoes. I thought I'd came prepared. I was really not prepared, and I'm having a bit of an allergic reaction, and 2 of the girls in my work are going to bring me in cream that they've got at home from their home countries that they're obviously maybe need at some point, but they're going to give it to me.
How have you found the language barrier here? Has it been a problem yet?
No, not really. I mean, there's been a couple of times where I've ordered what I thought was one thing and it turns out to be a completely different thing.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 it's been good.
What have you found about Chinese food in general?
Oh, Chinese food is just amazing. It's nothing like the Chinese food that we know in the West.
Really?
Yeah, it's not greasy and disgusting. You feel great after you eat Chinese food. There's so many different flavours, so many different textures. It's so cheap to eat here. You can have 3 meals a day here for less than £5. I'm eating a lot more veg than I thought I would be, and I'm definitely eating more pork. I came to China thinking that I didn't like pork and I was so wrong, but it's the same with tofu.
Yeah.
The Chinese they really know how to cook it differently from we do in the
Yeah.
West. Like we could be doing with some lessons.
Like, I never really eat pork in Australia, but in China, every day I'll have some kind of pork somewhere. Do you have any advice for people who are thinking of coming to move to China? Anything that you would tell them to look out for or to be wary of or just to be prepared for?
Yeah, definitely. If you're going to move to China, do your research. It is very different in terms of just the way things are done here. Like, trying to get anything achieved is a process. Like, when you first come to China, you need to check in at the police station. You need a Chinese national to go with you, otherwise it can be very difficult.
Yeah.
If you don't have a good translating app, get a good VPN before you come. When you come, make sure that your VPN's turned off when you're first entering the country, otherwise you won't be able to access the Wi-Fi, and it might take some people like me 6 hours to figure out that's why you can't get connected and phone your parents to say you're okay. You cannot flush the toilet paper in China, and all of the research that I've done, nobody told me this, and I feel like this is a great lie that we're keeping from people. Also, before I came, I spent a solid 3 weeks practicing my squat for using non-Western toilets. And I just couldn't do it. I don't have the thigh strength for it, and after 2 weeks in China, I mean, I don't want to be like too bold out there, but I might be the best squatter that there is.
Good on you.
Yeah,
I'm so
it's
proud.
Just like it's an acquired skill. 9 times out of 10, the Western toilet is more disgusting than the squat toilet. It's because people squat on the Western toilet. Because, like, and I before I came here, the concept of a squatting toilet was disgusting to me, but it does seem more sanitary now that I've experienced it.
Have you gone out in Shenzhen yet?
Yeah, I suppose technically I have. There's a really cool bar that does live music on a Saturday night called Brew.
Oh, great tip.
Okay, so one thing that I found particularly quirky about China is their use of plastic. If you go to McDonald's, if you go to Starbucks, if you order any sort of cold drink, it'll come in a bag.
Yeah.
You'll get a plastic cup inside a plastic bag, usually with a plastic straw and a little plastic nozzle thing that you can take out. Like, there's just a serious overuse of plastic here, which is just insane. And the phrase that I probably need to learn right now is no bag.
不要袋子.
不要袋子.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Okay, no, tell me again.
不要袋子.
不要袋子.
Yeah.
And one of the main reasons that I done this was to save a bit of money and to get a new life experience in a country that I'd never been to before. So I'm planning to save up some money, go to Australia, buy a van, drive across Australia. The cost of living here is ridiculously cheap. Even in a first tier city like Shenzhen, you can live on easily eating out 2 times a day. You could live on £100 a week, 100 British pounds a week.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like ridiculously cheap. I think the average saving in Shenzhen for teaching jobs in the first year is upwards of £8,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but you can still have a great time. Like, you don't need to budget. I found that in the 3 weeks that I've been here, I've spent hardly any money, and I know that it's going to have such a positive impact on my mental health, being able to support myself financially, save money, and treat myself when I feel like I need it.
Yeah, and you can definitely treat yourself in China for a cheaper amount.
A lot less. Yeah, you can get 400 kwai for a 2-hour massage.
But that was a bit bougie of me.
Yeah, but still, that's ridiculously cheap for a 2-hour massage. You
Yeah.
pay £100 or whatever back home.
So yeah, I just wanted to add, I needed a bit of self-care the other day, so I did spend 400 renminbi on a 2-hour full body massage. I've never spent that much for a massage before, and it was like a super nice place. And in my head, because I'm in the China frame of mind and the China like spending scheme, 400 renminbi is like more than I would spend in like many days. So I was a bit taken aback. But when you like transfer it into your home currency, that's like $80 for a 2-hour like fancy massage. They massage my boob. Great.
I really don't even know what to say after. Oh my god, what's that?
It's a butterfly. So much nature.
The bugs are large here. I've developed a bug sense. Like since I moved to China, I can always tell when there's a big creepy bug around. The place is just so different from what you experience or from what I experienced in Scotland.
Yeah.
I walked through a construction site the other day. There was people like welding and building and bricks falling, and there was no fencing. Nobody cared. They were just kind of like you do you and try not to get hurt type situation. But it's just a culture difference here. I think if you do your research before you move, you won't experience culture shock, hopefully.
Thank you so much for sitting with me and telling me your experiences. I know that you're going to have an awesome time in China.
Thank you.
Bye. Guys, I'm here with Chris, who has just come to Shenzhen for a month to travel, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask him some of his experiences, first impressions. So I have some questions for you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So this is your first time to China, right?
Yeah, first time in Asia.
Wow. And so what are your first impressions? What did you think when you arrived at Shenzhen Airport?
It is mind-blowing. The size of the buildings here is incredible.
Yeah.
I come from South Africa, where it's a third world country. You know, we don't have like massive buildings, and it's very overwhelming. I remember being like literally breathtaking. Like I was out of breath. I think my jaw dropped.
Wow.
I couldn't believe the scale and the size of things here. It's also incredibly clear skies all the time.
Yeah.
At least a lot of the time.
So, okay, let's talk about food. Have you eaten some Chinese food yet?
Yeah, I've had some pretty weird food.
Like what? What do you think is weird?
Well, I think it's just a bit confusing when they can't speak English and you're sort of looking at it unsure. Like I thought I had octopus yesterday, but it turns out it was duck feet. But the local Chinese breakfast is delicious. There's that dough stick.
Oh yeah, youtiao.
Youtiao.
Yeah.
I had that this morning with warm soy milk.
Oh, good. You're getting really into the local foods.
And it was super cheap. Like something that's mind-blowing here is the food is unbelievably cheap.
Yeah.
For like, you can get breakfast every day for less than like $1 American, which is like unheard of.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
If you're here, don't make the mistake of thinking it's cheap and ordering too much, because last night I had like a 3-person meal just to myself because it was so ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
But they cook food in this spice that is everywhere. You walk past a restaurant,
really?
It smells like that.
Oh, I haven't known. Well, I've forgotten what that's like now.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's just China.
Yeah.
Interesting to hear that. Anything else that you've kind of realized being here that's kind of like different or?
Yeah, I said, well, like we were chatting the convenience stores here. There are so many convenience stores. It's just hyper convenient. Like if you're walking down the street and you walk past a 7-Eleven and then 15 meters later realize that you're actually thirsty, don't turn around. Just keep walking, because there'll be another fake 7-Eleven or like a Family Mart or something. And you can buy just exactly the same stuff at the next store.
Has there been anything that's been kind of not convenient, or anything that's been like hard for you as a foreigner or your first time in China?
Yeah, so I researched and found out about WeChat Pay and Alipay, which everyone uses to pay for literally everything. Even the metro you can use your phone for.
Yeah.
But here as a foreigner, it's really difficult to use a foreign bank card. A lot of the news is saying, and articles say that you can, but no one really shows you how. And we tried. I spent like a couple hours the first day I arrived, spent about an hour yesterday trying to get it set up, and it can't link with my passport.
Okay.
So if you're going to come here as a tourist, I recommend just drawing cash. You can't use your bank card anywhere. Like in my pocket now, I have tons of 10s and 20s, just in case. Because having hundreds is not...
You're like a stripper.
Not much English is spoken. Like I researched online and thought there would be a lot more English. But if you stay in a hostel, I recommend trying to meet some Chinese people that are also staying there. A lot of them can speak English. And they've kind of shown me around the city, shown me a few local spots. It's so safe here. Like it's incredibly safe. I went for a run last night at about 8 o'clock at night. And there was like a maybe 14, 15-year-old girl just sitting on a bench on her phone by herself. And like back home, that is absolutely insane. Like no one goes into any parks at night because it's really dangerous.
And based on your experience so far, do you think you would come to China again?
It depends. I mean, I've done so much in 2 days.
You've only been here for 2 days?
Been here for 2 days.
Oh my god! I thought you'd been here for a week.
No. I'm speaking like I've been here, but I've done so much. Like,
wow.
I've only been here for 2 days. But I'm not so interested in going to the north part of China.
Okay.
Especially now, like it's quite cold there.
Oh,
The weather in Shenzhen is incredible this time of year.
Like what month are we in right now?
We're in November.
And
so
it's t-shirt weather.
Yeah, I mean, I brought one pair of long pants. I probably won't even wear them when I'm here.
Well, enjoy the rest of your stay in Shenzhen.
Thanks so
Thanks
much.
for giving your experiences.
Sure, and it was awesome meeting you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. I really hope this video has been useful to at least some of you thinking of coming to China. Let me know below in the comments whether this is a kind of video that interests you, that is helpful for you, because I definitely want to keep collecting these kind of stories as I continue traveling China from foreigners that have just arrived in China and what they think, what they're finding most striking or most interesting or the craziest thing when they walk down the street. I personally find it super, super interesting. So let me know what you think. So please subscribe, would absolutely love that. And yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye.